Welcome. Let's get your billing and invoicing ready so you can start invoicing customers and collecting payments with confidence. In this video, we'll walk through the billing and invoicing setup. This is a high-level overview of what it is and how it's used. The accounts receivable portion will be covered in a separate video, along with additional videos that dive deeper into each area. Let's get started. First, let's walk through the key components of billing and invoicing setup, what each one does and how it supports your overall process. Then, I'll show you where to find them in the system. Start with taxation. Define your tax provider and set up tax codes for your ERP invoicing. Invoice settings. Create invoice templates and set preferences for dating, numbering, and delivery. Payment terms. Set rules for how and when payments are collected. Accounting periods. Establish fiscal calendar controls over when invoicing occurs. And billing settings, which has additional optional settings for managing billables. Now let's look at them in the cloud. Taxation is where you can define your tax provider and set up tax codes for your ERP invoicing. The tax per product toggle will ensure taxes are applied per product line, and the use tax code toggle enables tax codes and order entry. The next required configuration is invoice settings. In here, your goal is to set up your different invoicing templates. You can easily create one with our simple build or choose to use your own document. You've also got a few other additional settings over in invoice settings. This is where you can say things like, I always want the invoice date to equal the ticket date, or you can set your starting invoice sequence. This also is where you can configure your email settings if you plan to send things out automatically. Next for billing is payment terms. Set your organization's standards for collections to ensure invoice due date and payment discount terms are being defined correctly. Set up different payment terms to match your collection needs. Please note, if you do not set up payment terms and you start invoicing without any payment terms set up, then every invoice due date will always be the same as the invoice date by default. Accounting periods is highly recommended but not required for invoicing. If you have accounting periods set up for your billing, then you're going to be able to ensure that you have controls around when you can and cannot invoice something. If you do not, then those controls will not be present, and invoices and credit memos can be created for any date at any time. Next is billable settings. This is where a few additional options for billable settings exist. For example, some organizations want all billables put on hold to be reviewed before being invoiced. This setting lives in billable settings. Here you can also enable large dataset support. This option is designed for companies that work with large volumes of billable data. When enabled, the billable grid loads information in the background, helping ensure smooth performance even with heavy data loads. In short, to get started on billing and invoicing, you are required to set up taxation and invoice settings. Accounting periods and payment terms are not required but highly recommended. And billable settings is an optional setup. Thank you for watching. Continue your setup by checking out the accounts receivable setup video to learn how to get your accounts receivable fully configured and ready to use.